when we meet with them and ask, is there anything the county can do for you? And they will tell you, yes, we need another MARTA stop, or we need a stop closer to our front door, or we need a bus shelter because our 6 p.m. shift, we're a supply chain and logistics hub largely. So,
welcome to the Southside Show, your local news and information source for Atlanta's South Side.
Welcome to the Southside Show. I'm your host, Artie Jones III. The Southside Show will introduce you to the talented individuals, visionary leaders, innovative entrepreneurs, and game changers that make us Southside strong. Joining us today is Erica Rocker, who serves as the Economic Development Officer for the Clayton County Board of Commissioners. In Erica's role, she is charged with the management and administration of the Economic Development Department for Clayton County, to include managing staff, business recruitment, retention, and expansion efforts. With over 20 years in municipal government experience, Erica serves on numerous boards and organizations. Erica holds a Bachelor's of Science degree from Emory University with a major in psychology and a minor in English. She's a graduate of Oklahoma University Economic Development Institute and the Georgia Academy of Economic Development. Erica, welcome to the Southside Show.
Thank you, Artie. It's a pleasure to be here.
All right, so great. What I'd like to do first is please tell our Southside Show guests a little bit about where you're from and your background.
Well, I am from North Carolina, known for furniture, tobacco, and basketball.
Okay.
We moved to the metro Atlanta area when I was just a 5th grader. We actually moved to the South Side, to College Park. So I went to Kathleen Mitchell Elementary School, which is on Paul D. West Drive, which is, I understand, going to be a redevelopment site for your city. And went on to Lakeshore High School on the South Side, and then Emory University right here in Atlanta. So I feel like I'm just born, bred, and raised and did all my formative years here.
Okay.
I'm the youngest of 3, and just happy to be in my career at this time and season. As you mentioned, over the last 20 years, learned a whole lot about government, city government, and now county government. And so it's exciting to still contribute and to make all of that work.
Okay. Well, that's great. You're the first person that I've actually met that actually went to Kathleen Mitchell School. That particular site, I've always wondered, how did it, kind of, it seemed like it was a beautiful school at one time. It was a great area, and then all of a sudden, it's a redevelopment site now. But
yes, it was a great school, Artie. And when I look back at some of my Facebook friends that we talk now, excuse me, we all met at Kathleen Mitchell. And these are today's pilots that are flying you on your vacation or on your business trips. This was very much an airline community. Pilots, aviation, flight attendant, people involved in that industry. So the airport's still being a factor today in terms of a driver for homes and residential around the area, and development. But I'll say, Kathleen Mitchell is definitely. It was a great elementary school.
Right, that's good. And tell us a little bit about your professional career. I understand that you've been in local government for some time. You remember, I mentioned to you that whenever I see you, you kind of remind me of a news, an anchor person on a television network. But tell us a little bit about your background and how did you end up here as the Economic Development Officer for Clayton County?
Well, my background started really right here on the South Side. It's come full circle. I began my career in municipal government with the city of East Point as, kind of like in an ombudsman role, dealing with citizen complaints. At the time it was a brand new position. It's so funny. I tell somebody every time I take a job, I'm either the first person in that job or it's a new department created. It's something that doesn't really give me a template. I have to start it from scratch. But so I began with the city of East Point and grew with them and moved on to become their CDBG or coordinator of their HUD funds. And so that taught me a lot about how federal funds could be used for economic development, for housing rehab, for public facility projects, and really gave me a bird's eye view into how the local government can maximize what the federal government has for them if somebody is there to intentionally tap into those pipelines of funding. From there, the City of College Park recruited me over to work for its Main Street and Downtown Development Program. And that was very exciting. You know, my office was right there in the train depot, and you know, the windows were wide open. It was like working in a fishbowl. I counted one day at my desk. I said, I have 24 windows around me. So requested to get some vellum sheeting put up there. We created a new logo for the district and began the process of marketing downtown College Park as a place for entrepreneurship, small business, redevelopment of those older buildings, working with MARTA and the government. And then, of course, then you came on board and I became your employee. And so it was just awesome when I even see where College Park is today. I know it's from the fruits of all those conversations and the getting the momentum going. And so from College Park, I went to work for the city of Sandy Springs. So I had a touch of North Fulton and really stretched my resume working with office. Yes, there was some small business involvement, but there, the job in economic development was really a lot about real estate. It was very focused on shopping center owners and brokers that market that region of the county. And so I got my experience working with corporate relocates, you know, like the Mercedes-Benz corporate office or Westrock, Veritiv, and other companies, even UPS that's there now, and learned how your big business does feed into your small business market, and how as economic developers we can promote some of that business to business opportunity. Everything from commuter options became an important conversation and part of my job there because of traffic and how workers get to places. So, you know, in our field, you're stretched and called upon for many things, not just, hey, find us a site, negotiate incentives, deal done. It's now, how can you find my workers extra training for the job that I'm going to hire them for? In the Mercedes-Benz relocate, it was, we're bringing 400 employees from New Jersey. How can you help my spouse get a job? And so we had never been asked that. So we had to really reach out and do job fairs for the spouses of workers that were coming down. So from Sandy Springs, I was contacted by a recruiter about Clayton County. And I said, I know Clayton County well. I grew up on the South Side. And so the position was, again, quite different. It was a revamping of the Economic Development Office, and it involved, they had hired a director already. They were looking for 2 senior development managers to do quintessential economic development, make retention visits, expand existing industry, work with small business and our partners to promote Clayton. And I have been just thrilled since coming to Clayton in 2018, and I've been there ever since.
All right. Well, you guys are doing some great things in Clayton County. Clayton County, roughly 260,000 in population, the 5th largest school district, I believe, in the state of Georgia, and roughly 144 square miles in size. That's a tremendous amount of real estate, a lot of coverage. I understand that you work very closely with the Development Authority for Clayton County and all of these cities. How many cities in Clayton County?
There are 7 cities in Clayton County. We are 81% of our square miles is unincorporated, so that's under the jurisdiction of county government. And then the remaining encompasses our 7 cities. So we're happy that College Park is one of them. A portion of College Park is in Clayton County. But then that's followed by Forest Park, which is our largest city with 19,000 residents. We actually are up countywide to right at about 299,000 according to the last census. Citizens. With a projected growth of about 340,000 citizens by 2040, according to ARC. So we're growing, and we're paying attention to those growth projections, because that means those people have to have somewhere to live, somewhere to work, somewhere to shop, somewhere for their kids to play sports. And we keep that in mind as we make our county plans.
With those increases in your population, What type of strain is that having on transit and people being able to get to and from work, and what effect is that having?
It's a major effect. MARTA is a major partner for us in economic development and in the county. We even have one of our commissioners that's on one of the transportation boards, and because I'm told by MARTA one of their most traveled routes is in Clayton County, and it's that route that runs, by South Lake Mall and Jonesboro Road. But we work with our job centers in my office when we meet with them and ask, is there anything the county can do for you? And they will tell you, yes, we need another MARTA stop, or we need a stop closer to our front door, or we need a bus shelter because our 6 p.m. shift, we're a supply chain and logistics hub largely. So we've got employers with a large volume of workers coming in and out at shift changes. And so for those who ride MARTA, not only, is it a plus because they're helping keep down congestion by using public transit, but we want to make it convenient for them. And MARTA has been a great partner in helping us with that. They have the MARTA Reach program now, which takes it to, it's where the bus ends. There's a shuttle that will go further, like into the bowels of some of our industrial parks. So you can be dropped off at the front door.
It makes it real convenient for your employees.
It does, and it's critical, and we're grateful to MARTA for that.
Okay. Well, as you get more and more of a population, a lot more rooftops, you need a lot more soft goods, retail, things of that nature. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about the quality of life in Clayton County and what you guys are doing to increase it, and kind of what's on the radar in the near future.
I have to take a deep breath before answering that because there's so many great things to talk about when you talk about quality of life in Clayton County. Our county has been through, if you just watch the Metro Atlanta headlines, we've been through the ringer of just when negative publicity hits the airwaves, it seems to just permeate and linger out there.
Yes.
We started 2 years ago a branding campaign where our leaders met, stakeholders, citizens met. We got opinions and words on what's great about Clayton. What do you think about Clayton County? And so all of that culminated in a new logo and a new tagline being introduced in 2020. And you'll start to see that everywhere. And with that came a layer of other deliverables like a digital ad campaign that shows our quality of life, our parks, our entertainment venues, things happening, our great development on the residential front. So with that, we're basking in it right now. And I will say from a quality of life standpoint, there's a lot to do. If you had a weekend to spend in Clayton County, you might visit Spivey Hall, which is on the campus of Clayton State University. We've had groups as far as the choir from Prague to come and perform there. Tickets are for sale, and the theater is open again for performances, so you can go to their website and see the array of things. But it's a beautiful facility. And of course, Dr. Spivey was the benefactor behind that, which many things in Clayton are named thusly. Also in Clayton County, Lake Spivey Golf Course, which was recently under new owners. It's been revamped. There's the Double Eagle restaurant there on site. So with golf picking back up, I read an article in Economic Development, the game of golf is back. Courses are being reopened.
I can tell you I know that you're really big into golf.
I am big in golf.
I remember that time that you played on we played on the same team, and you were like the ringer. I mean, you brought it home.
Thank you, Artie. I appreciate you saying. I'll try to recall some of those glory days. One other point that I definitely need to mention is the opening of the Clayton International Water Park and Spivey Splash. Tickets are on sale now. You can get season tickets for the whole family. And let me just say, this is a tremendous project for the county. Our water park features 1,200 feet of a lazy river. It's the longest lazy river in the state. There'll be a kids' pool, play structures, a sporting pool, splash pad, large water slides, cabanas. There'll even be an adult swim after 5 p.m. So grown-ups can swim and not have to worry about small kids being in the water. Of course, there'll be the picnic grounds, and we're excited to open it to staff a week early.
Wow, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's exciting. And then if you want a more serene afternoon, you can visit Shamrock Park. It's owned by the Clayton County Water Authority, but it is a stunning lake and beautiful pavilion structure for events, weddings, corporate retreats. You can rent a boat and go fishing, but it's very quiet, none of the fanfare of an amusement park, but certainly a great place to walk. They are in the process of installing an outdoor wedding pavilion where you can have ceremonies and events other than inside the structure. So Shamrock Park would be great. And then you could come to the town green in our county seat of Jonesboro and visit that or rent it out for a party or a function. So there's a lot to do in Clayton County.
Okay. Switching a little bit, many governments, local governments all over the state have received a lot of American Rescue Plan funds. How is Clayton County actually utilizing those funds?
Wow, yeah, the American Rescue Plan Act fund, I don't need to pause, but I have to pause because it's just an unprecedented time for federal funding to be made available to governments to disseminate into its communities and solve needs. And so to date, Clayton County has received $66 million in ARPA funds. I have to credit and champion our leadership, our Board of Commissioners, and our county COO, Dietrich Stanford, for inviting departments to meet with the team and talk about how will we spend the $66 million? What are your needs? Here are the uses of the funds. What do you have in terms of projects that would line up and become eligible uses? So in economic development, we received $5 million of the $66 million just to give out in small business grants. We're excited about our grant program, which will roll out somewhere in the next 30 to 45 days. But we are going to use it in economic development for some business sustainability and for businesses to recover if they still are. We wanted to make sure that we didn't make it just about, are you suffering? Because the pandemic's now 2 years old, so who hasn't been impacted? Mm-hmm. But we tied into those eligibility rules this time of, what you might need the money to add a new product or service or to digitize something that you hadn't done before, so that you could grow and be ready to exist if there's another pandemic, or if customers can't come in your door, they can now order online, or you can deliver, or something of that nature. Mm-hmm. So we're excited about that. But many of our other departments also tapped into those ARPA dollars to do everything. I know our Chamber of Commerce tapped into the money to do small business classes, and we were able to offer those classes free of charge. So some 8-week classes that weren't your normal topics. We didn't want to go normal this time, like how to start a business, how to create a website. We wanted to touch on topics you don't hear often, like how to build credit as a business, how to be a good customer and how to get customers to come back, how to be a customer to your own businesses. And it made the merchants look at themselves as, all right, yeah, what kind of grade would I give myself if I shopped here? So that was very successful. They just completed the first 8-week round, and now the second round is about to start, but it'll be sponsored by Chase Bank, and we're looking forward to that.
That's great to see those tax dollars being reinvested back into the community.
It's ideal.
Lots of times you don't see the thoughtfulness in government and them getting together and really digging down deep and saying, it's good that you come to the staff for that. Lots of times the higher ups will say, well, let's put the money here, here, and here, and you don't really ever see the results.
And I have to mention, I believe even our fire department, or our office that deals with flooding and problem areas that citizens have complained about. It may be an area that's in a floodplain that needs to be remediated in some way. Kudos to our government for allowing the money to be used in a variety of ways. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot, as you know, everything falls under economic development, infrastructure, public projects, and then those small business loans and grants that are so important.
Right. So tell me, what type of incentives does Clayton County have when trying to attract businesses? I know that you have lots of different types of incentives, but what are the ones that seem to be the most effective right now?
Right now, when I pitch Clayton County, it's great to say we are a Tier 1 tax credit county, but that doesn't mean anything if I don't explain what Tier 1, what Tier 2, what Tier 3 means, and the money tied to it. We do pitch that we are that Tier 1 tax credit county. That's $4,000 per job created for the first 5 years for any new enterprise created in our county. And that still sells. We're the highest in the metro area right now, which is great. But we also pitch our affordable real estate. We found through doing a study of our county that the cost of living in Clayton is 17% lower than the national average. And quite frankly, your money goes further there. We have lower home prices as well as lower land prices on the commercial real estate side. So it makes us an attractive option when a prospect is considering, should I buy this acreage in, an adjacent county, or should I buy it in Clayton? We can do those analytics for them. We also, as an incentive, offer concierge permitting. That's very attractive to developers. It's one thing to recruit a company in and get them committed to a site, but then you turn them loose and they have a bad experience, trying to get their land disturbance permit or trying to deal with the business license people or getting their plans reviewed. So we assign them to our concierge in our community services department, and they're given priority for expedited review of their plans, so they know what needs to be fixed, what needs to be signed off, what needs to be, where you are in the pipeline, because it's contingent on their dollars and the funding of their project. So they need to know, and that I find is really a big seller. Sometimes it's not just the incentives, it's having staff like myself, and we've added our economic development project manager on board to help and serve and be that conduit to make sure projects go off as they should.
That's so very important. Lots of times when people when they think of government, they think of a bureaucratic process, not very friendly, not very helpful.
Right.
And lots of taxes that they have to pay.
Yeah.
But businesses, especially small businesses, are the lifeblood of our economy, and without them, we would be in a lot of hurt. And it's great. I like that idea about the concierge, somebody to kind of take them through step by step, department by department, to make sure that they get what they need to help to be successful.
Yeah, because as a developer, if you're told, the fire department had a problem with this, you're going to have to call the fire marshal, just check with him. Well, what's his name? What's his number? Wouldn't it be better if I facilitate the call, set the Zoom up, I'm on the call? So I'm there to help you with your questions. You feel like you have an usher and a guide. And I hear from developers that's very comforting.
That's great. That's great. Mm-hmm. Well, in wrapping up, how can people contact you if they are interested in doing business in Clayton County?
You can reach me. I'm accessible through the Clayton County website. It's claytoncountyga.gov/economic development. Okay. We have a microsite at www.advancedclayton.com. You can also reach us on all 4 social media platforms of Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn at ECDev Clayton County. Also, you can call us at 770-477-4430 is our office number. We are located at 2270 Mount Zion Road, Jonesboro, Georgia, and we are housed inside the building with the Clayton County Chamber of Commerce.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you, Erica. Thank you for coming in and talking to our Southside Show guest about the great things happening in Clayton County. Mm-hmm. Thanks for representing the Clayton County Commissioners as the Economic Development Officer, and I appreciate your optimism and all the great things that you're doing. You are a rock star. I enjoy working with you, and I look forward to hearing many more great things coming from you.
Well, it's an honor to be on your show, and kudos to you. College Park's success and thriving speaks to your hard work and your relationship here. So thank you. Glad to be here.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And it's a wrap, folks. My time is up. I'm Artie Jones, your host of the Southside Show, bringing you the latest and the greatest that the Southside has to offer. And if you don't remember anything else, remember this. Don't sleep on the Southside. Take care. Thanks for joining us.